So the behavior of not texting first, but responding when someone else does, isn't specific to just women. I admit, many individuals across genders exhibit this behavior for a variety of reasons. But since this channel is one that proffers relationship advice from men, predominantly, I'm going to spend the next few minutes to tell you why this happens, and then I'll give you great advice, as always, on how to change this. I'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Jessica, and this is my YouTube channel. Let's face it, this can be one of the most frustrating positions to be in as a man. This woman who has caught your interest is giving you a lot of mixed signals and you don't know what to do about it. One minute she's hot, the next minute she's cold, and being a nice guy, the nice guy that you are, you entertain her shenanigans. Now, before I get into the reasons why she never texts you first but responds when you do, let me just say that whenever you tolerate such behavior, you actually enable it, I'll give you more details on how to deal with a woman when it comes to such a situation a little later on in the video. For now though, the first reason she may be doing this is simply due to cultural or societal norms. I mean, depending on what part of the world you're from, this can be a really, really big deal. Historically and culturally, men have been expected to take the initiative in many contexts, including in romantic and platonic relationships. Some women might feel it's more appropriate or expected for men to make the first move, even in communication. So depending on how she was brought up and nurtured, she most likely has been told that as a woman, you should always let a man initiate so you don't come across as cheap and readily available. Now, unfortunately, such notions still thrive today, and until you're really able to prove to her that you're not the traditional man, she may continue to expect you to always initiate conversations. Okay? Second reason is the fear of being perceived as clingy or needy. So closely related to the previous pointer, women, like men, sometimes fear how they will be perceived, right? They might not want to come off as too eager or forward, so basically they wait for you to initiate. In a way, men are partly to be blamed for this because a lot of men tend to also not appreciate women who are forward, right? Once again, it's a question of culture and context. Number 3 is uncertainty about the relationship status, okay? She might be unsure about where she stands with you or how you feel about her. In such a case, she may wait for you to take the lead to gauge your interest. On the flip side, if you guys are in a relationship and this behavior is rife, it could mean something completely different. And in fact, I need to make a whole video on that. Now, is she entertaining someone else in the shadows? Can she not trust the love that you have for her due to your own actions or inactions? Women simply do not operate in a vacuum. If you've given her no assurances in your relationship that you share together, don't expect her to give you her all. Number 4 could be due to past experiences, and this is a heavy hitter when it comes to this conversation. Just like you, if she's been in a relationship in the past with an unfaithful lover or a dishonest one, it will affect her current relationship in some shape or form. If she's been ignored or rejected after initiating contact in the past, she may be hesitant to take the first step again. Mind you, there are lots of men who make women feel less of themselves for being so expressive. She may just be a victim of her circumstances and just called back into her shell, really. You're going to have to do some work if you're going to get such a woman to open up. Number 5 could be due to a busy lifestyle, right? Now, before you call my bullshit, let me just say, she might generally be preoccupied with work, studies, other activities that might not make her think about initiating contact with you. However, when prompted, she'll still take time to respond. Now, even though this is a legitimate fact, take note that some women make time, and in fact, people make time for those that they care about or love. If she's too busy to even reach out to you within 24 hours of a day, it's either she's seeing someone else and that person is taking all of her time, or she's simply not interested in you or not as vested in the relationship. Hence, she may only be responding to you out of politeness, but she's not interested enough, basically, to initiate contact, right? Now, number 6 may be, she's used to you initiating things, and this pointer, if you ask me, is self-explanatory. If you've always been the one to start the conversation, she might just expect that pattern to continue, right? Even though many men don't mind being the ones to take initiative all the time, ever so often I think that you need to allow your woman to take the lead. Also, ensure that she knows that you are okay with her taking the reins from time to time. She can learn this behavior with your prompting and your guidance, right? Number 7 is overthinking. Now, all these points in this video are still closely related. Let's not ignore the fact that overthinking is actually a big thing for a lot of people. She might overthink the timing, the content, or implications of her messages and will be hesitant to send a message first. This, of course, is true with a woman you're just getting to know, right? Once again, if this is with a woman who you are dating, it may be time for a heart-to-heart to figure out why she needs to think critically about things before she says them to you, right? For example, are you too critical of her? You know, have you shut her down in the past? Do you ridicule her ideas or thoughts? These are questions that only you can answer. Okay. Number 9, being respectful of your time. Yes, believe it or not, here comes in Careful Kate. Now, she might believe that you're too busy and doesn't want to disturb you unless you show interest in conversing. Maybe you come across as a guy who doesn't have too much time on his hands, right? She'll hate to interrupt your day or your schedule with nothing really important. So she'll wait until you initiate contact before she does. And of course, I think the last one I'll throw in here is just a lack of confidence, right? Now, it's not something that affects only men when it comes to the opposite sex. Low self-esteem or self-confidence can make a woman hesitant to take the initiative in many aspects of her life, including communication, right? Is your love interest struggling with low self-esteem? Now, before you walk away and think she's not interested, be sure to answer this particular question honestly. Okay, so what's the best way to handle a situation like this? I have some thoughts, right? Building a relationship, be it romantic, friendly, professional, where both parties initiate communication requires understanding, it requires patience, it requires mutual respect. Now, if you'd like a woman to text you more frequently, then consider the following. First, build a genuine connection. Okay, the foundation for frequent communication is a strong bond. Find common interests, share personal stories, genuinely listen when she talks, right? Secondly, show genuine interest. When she does reach out, show genuine interest in what she has to say. Ask open-ended questions, be a good listener. The more she feels valued and heard, the more likely she'll want to communicate and keep communicating with you, right? Number 3, be engaging. Share interesting anecdotes, news, updates about your life. If you lead an engaging and dynamic life, she might be more inclined to check in and see what you're up to, right? But if you're boring Joe, who's always at home, has very few friends on his video games all the time, and rarely engages in activity, she knows her question about what you're doing will only elicit an answer like, nothing much. And after a while, it gets tiring. 4, establish a routine. Now, this could be something like sending her a good morning text, sharing something funny during the day, or wishing her good night. Now, once a pattern of communication is established, she'll start to initiate more frequently. Number 5, give her space. Okay, paradoxically, giving someone space can sometimes make them more inclined to reach out. If she feels smothered or pressured, she might pull back. When we say absence makes the heart grow fonder, we actually mean it, right? Unless, of course, as I said earlier, she's really not that into you, in which case your absence will only be good riddance. Now, while it's essential to be responsive, being available 24/7 might make the interactions less valuable. So let conversations flow naturally and don't feel compelled to reply immediately to her messages every time. Number 6, be reliable and consistent. Now, if she knows that you're someone she can count on and that you consistently respond to her messages, she might feel more inclined to reach out more frequently. If you are as guilty of not texting back or texting back on time as she is, this will quickly become a game of who will reach out first today. In the end, you'll both lose out. Number 7, encourage her to share. Prompt her by asking about her day, her feelings, her experiences. I mean, if she feels that you genuinely care, she might start sharing spontaneously as well, right? If she's one of those women who give monosyllabic answers, like, how's your day? Answer, fine. You know, have you eaten? Yes. Did you do anything exciting today? Not really. Here's a question you should ask yourself, right? Is she simply not good at communicating, or is she disinterested or uninterested? 8, open channels of communication. Let her know that she can always reach out to you whenever she has something important to share or just wants to chat. And remember to discuss, whilst you're at it, communication preferences, because, you know, if you're close enough, you want to consider what communication pattern suits her best. Some women are not frequent texters, but might be more responsive on other platforms or through different means, like a phone call, right? Does she like to talk on the phone more than text? If so, you want to switch the channel of communication so that she can sort of engage you more. And finally, refrain from game playing, right? It's vital to avoid manipulative tactics like waiting a specific amount of time to reply or trying to make her jealous. Such tactics can erode trust and, if you ask me, genuine connection. Okay. Remember, everyone has their communication style, and it's influenced by their personal experiences, what they've been through, their lifestyle, their comfort levels. Now, while you can make efforts from your end, it's crucial to respect her boundaries and preferences. Healthy communication is a two-way street, and both parties should feel comfortable with the frequency and nature of their interactions. Now, the best way to understand why a woman behaves a certain way is to communicate openly and to ask her directly, ensuring that she feels safe and free from judgment while she's expressing herself. Only at that point will she really be able to open up, and will you begin to enjoy her fully. Okay, I'll end the video now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these nuggets helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.